for the 1947 New York Giants. Like normally this parking lot, even on a Tuesday night, probably has 4 to 6 cars in it. Like there's nobody in here. So we actually have the whole space to ourselves, which is wonderful. And you're looking at me, Liz, like, what the hell are we doing in a parking lot? Congrats, you made it. So this place used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. That's why we're here. Communication devices, this is where I start withholding information on purpose. So I will not tell you everything I know about the place, and I will not give you questions here like what color is George Washington's white horse. Kind of keep that in mind, like what we did with the Big Red Barn, right? So what is this place? This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. Yeah, I know it's confusing when you first walk in, like what the hell are we doing here, but the place is very active. One of the most active spaces I've ever actually investigated in my 12 years of doing this. So, and that's not just the route of my tour. Back to Eliza and Charles. Who the hell were these people? They had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks, in case you weren't keeping track. That's why we look for those secondary clues, everybody. In the event that somebody hears the name Charles, somebody else is going to give me a clue as to which one is actually starting to come through. That's the hope. Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution, but I hate politics more than all of you. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about Eliza instead. If I do not give them that recognition, by the way, we will get nasty messages on our spirit boxes. Just so you know, I've seen it dozens of times. Been coming here for 4 years. I make sure I give them the recognition. Back to Eliza. She marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it that way because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers like 12 and 14 from the colonial days that she came from. Think of today's standards, because her husband was over double her age when they got married. It was a creepy age gap then, it's a creepy age gap now. Now, she marries him because her father is over in England, and he thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his children home one last time so he can see them before he dies. Eliza doesn't believe he's dying. So she stays put right here and gets married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. So, by the way, she was correct. Her father did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. That is a plant that makes blue dye, that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. Some of you have it on right now, just so you know. When she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's obviously not, always hot here. Some of you are wearing sweatshirts and coats, for God's sake. It's not always warm here. Then she had to learn how to make the dye from them. When she did that, she moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad, and said, our rice plantation prices are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with this indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. So, that is the boring business stuff of Eliza. Kind of need to know like a basis of her. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are all here. What I will point out is that this space, I do change this up every year. And again, starting tomorrow, I start investigating the new space. But this year, I was going to take out this location because I was getting very rude and kind of disrespectful people on your guys' end. Like, come on, Eliza, let's go. And then they go take a leak in the corner. So I actually gave this place a break for a few weeks and kind of looked into the new space, but I always get drawn back because it is so active. That's what I love about the place. So when we're out and about in this location, please be respectful. So that's kind of a big deal to her. I also, every night, I come through this location before I meet with y'all to let her know how many people I'm bringing and your names if I know them. So your names are already written down inside my notebook. So for those of you that are impressed with me memorizing your names, I read them and had to write them down today because I do tell Eliza every single night. And John's laughing like, holy shit, this guy's serious. But yeah, this is what I do for a living, guys. So kind of keep that in mind. With the communication devices, I'm going to give you guys a set of focus questions to kind of focus on. You can say things out loud. You can just focus on things. That's okay too. There's no right or wrong way to do this. But keep in mind, we have a lot of communication devices out here. In the event Katie asks something, Liz might get the answer. We never know where things are going to fall. So kind of keep that in mind. So even if you want to cherry pick off another question that I gave for somebody else, by all means, do so. If you go rogue, the only thing I ask is you do not ask questions about Eliza's children. It's a sore topic, and we will get sore answers. So keep that in mind as well. I'm not looking to piss this woman off anytime soon. Spirit box communications. So we're going to actually start with John and then Linda. Your guys' devices are going to kind of work together. So here's how this is actually going to work out. Eliza that I just told you guys about is the second wife named Eliza, by the way. First wife also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. So John, you're going to be looking for the initials of ELP in that order. I don't want an mix-up of all of those letters, ELP in that order. You're going to be asking which Eliza we're dealing with by asking for her maiden name. So again, it has shown up on that specifically in the past multiple times, and both of them have shown up. so it just depends. Next set of spirit boxes, where are we at with things? So it's kind of hard to tell who has here, you know, obviously Monica has headphones. So red spirit box on Gina's end and Katie's end. So you two have the same set of questions as well. So you guys have Eliza's death. She's very open about talking about it, so you can ask her how old she was when she got married. You can ask her how she died, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Like, those are the 4 majors that we commonly get answers to on those spirit boxes. Okay, so
again, I turn the volume up.
yeah, so,
Okay.
Yeah. So when we spread out, you're going to turn that volume up and you start listening. All right. So Liz and Ryan, you guys are going to have the same set of questions as well. So again, these kind of work in pairs based on what type of devices they are. Your guys' devices, believe it or not, work the exact same way. You're just working off of just FM. He's got both AM and FM. So it's just attempting to take out that white noise. Unless you guys can see something I can't, the mansion's not here anymore. So ask what happened to the mansion, and then when did that happen? If we get the what, we will commonly get the 2 or 3 numbers of the date of when that actually occurred. Just keep in mind, like, you guys are going to be telling me all the silly little things that you're hearing on these spirit boxes, because, again, Gina, you don't know if you're asking things, and we have the number 42 that shows up, and that's relevant to somebody else, of whatever they were asking. So again, 42 is not a number that is relevant to the space. Any numbers that came out of the 2 of you yet? Nothing yet at all. Okay.
The highest I got was
Yeah, 1.1 is natural from the earth, so, and you're going to ignore your readings, both of you, when we're on sidewalks and crosswalks, because the electrical lines for our parking meters are underneath our sidewalks, so it'll make it. All right, we are going to spread out a little bit. I'm going to keep John behind so I can show him a little bit more about that device, and I'm going to do like one round robin with everybody to kind of see what's happening, and then kind of see if I need to do a secondary one to keep it going. So yeah, definitely keep your film running, nice and slow movements. Let's spread out. John, you're going to stick with me for just a minute. You have
Where should we go?
Don't you have to stay still?
Well, he said we can move, but I can walk to it and be still.
Let's go to the other corner.
So underneath your red dot on the left side, there's a little dot. So I might say, John, go ahead and scale it back 5.
Good job. Ghostbusters. The EMF meter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the one with the...
Hey, it's flashing yellow.
Did it really?
Oh, right here. I told you this was the spot. Come back over here a little bit. got it to flash since?
It's just been over here. I think it's go red. Like, we were getting it to, when you first noticed it was that yellow. I think it got to go red or there.
Okay. Well, hopefully, standing over in this corner, this picks up something.
Other than my hot body.
This doesn't work by temperature.
Last you just said Vitamin Dimensions on this side. Slam cars would be there, so I wonder what was on.
Maybe we should move to that corner?
Well, I'm wondering what was on this side.
Oh.
Like, he said he's not telling us everything, so I wonder what was on this side of the house.
Got it. Got it.
Like, what was the layout of the house? Like, you know, something to think about. Now, yeah, let's go over there.
Okay. Slow, steady movements.
That's good. That's good.
So I'm going to go to the corner and turn around again. Oh, it smells like dumpster over here. I don't like this one bit.
Let's go over there. Yeah, it's gotta be. You go coming over there like you're going on your smoke break and you pop your head back out here. You just keep What do you say? It's like it's kind of weird this thing's out. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun. To be honest.
Yeah.
Also, I really feel like what's going on that other side.
No dumpster over here.
I guess me waving it doesn't really matter. So I'm just like walking around with it.
Go run back over to the other corner and see if it flashes again. Ooh. It just turned red. Let's go check the progress on Dad's machine.
Oh. Like that synergy, Eric. So let's take a second and collect our thoughts here.
Okay.
Okay, so we've gone a small kick there, heavier kick there. I got a kick on the way over here, nothing over there, nothing in the corner, but when I moved over back,
It was like right here.
Yeah.
I saw flashes of red.
Is that a slave quarters right there? You'd think that would be, I guess they probably been doing.
Well, that's where they would go for the end of the night. That's not where the atrocities would happen, right?
Well, I hope we've come up with some pretty cohesive.
Let's hit this spot one more time. Just
I got blue and white.
Remind me of what yours does again. Oh yeah, no, I have changed. Mike's going through. I think yours is just 40. Just a couple of words. Just, again, it's mostly just muscles that are yeah. Anything that was clear, I would.
Not taking anything else.
Alright, how are we doing on your guys'? But it's good that you're picking up that particular It's just weird that we're going to get this far away. We're about a block away. Block and a half away. Right now.
You think the spirit's like
Not necessarily.
so the biggest hit seemed to be like in here, right?
Well, I think they'll get in
Follow the
on
jet
wall
circle
up
here,
there.
and then we're going to wrap this one up. So,
yeah.
about how many pictures do you think we got out of this
Oh
place?
my gosh,
A
I've
million?
been taking them a million.
Nice.
Yeah. So we've been just kind of hitting the corners and doing a full out. So okay, so you said the house is over here, slave quarters are over there, right?
Got it.
And so when we came in, and we actually started walking around, it looks like, okay, over here we got a lot, and over here was pretty good. I just picked up a little bit, and when I say a lot, it's getting into the orange.
Okay, so you're getting 20s and 25s.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because I think Diana actually had a 44.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of falls right in line with what you're capturing because if we only had your device, we wouldn't have caught that 44 because you only go to 25.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
you had about a 20 to a 25 on yours.
Mm-hmm.
So on the K2. So I'm sorry, I'm going to get the names mixed up again.
I'm Eric.
Eric, I thought so. All right, so I think I got it now. You actually look like a guy I used to work with. His name was Eric, and he wore glasses just like that.
All
Got
right.
it. Okay,
That
so this
works
is how I
out.
put all this shit together in my brain now that I
Yeah.
have you guys face to face.
Fucking got it.
So with yours, I don't always follow up in real time because just like I told Bear, these cameras are small. I put them up on YouTube, and I watch them on a computer screen. You guys can watch them on your TV set.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how this works out. So if I'm not chatting with you as much like I am with all the people with their communication devices, that's the reason why.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, I say we're probably about ready to wrap this one up. So I'm going to yank everybody to the back.
Should I stop recording at this point?
Yeah, you're probably good. All right, guys.
How to hit it? Okay.
Yeah, I can see it because it'll blink on my end.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you guys keep me around, right? Alright, so remember EMFs, it's 7 and above, and then for Ian, you're going to be the yellow and above. So kind of keep that in mind. Alright, so every ghost tour comes down here, which is exactly why this is the space I'm taking out this year. Starting tomorrow, this will be in my tour less and less for the next 2 months until January, where it will no longer exist. So again, it takes me about 2 months with groups to be able to find that new space and make sure that it's going to be a fruitful location for us. So that's why this will be the cliche that's normally taken out. If you've taken another ghost tour here in Charleston before, you've probably been here. I'm going to give you the same story that everybody gives, but I'm going to give you more details because you're ghost hunting. You're not on a campfire marshmallow kind of ghost tour. Here's how it goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. John, you're going to be looking for the letters RI specifically on your Ouija board back there. That's the reason why it's the Rhode Island. Now, he moves down here. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you that are listening to your spirit boxes while we're in here, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it is not coincidence. We get it all the time because it's part of the doctor's name. So keep that in mind. He moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. Dr. Ladd comes down here to Charleston to prove that he's not after Amanda's cash. So on his way into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here in Charleston. It's kind of like having a really bad Uber driver. But because he's going to kill him, right? That Uber driver. But somebody was walking by. And I'm going to stop there for a second because the person walking by and seeing what was about to happen, his name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. So I will tell you that the reason why I have the device that John is using is because of this location. I was getting the letters RI on regular spirit boxes, and I wanted to make sure we had the concrete and I wasn't mishearing it the several times that I did hear it over the years I've been coming here. So we have gotten RI about half a dozen times whenever I bring up Ralph. So now I know who it's relevant to. So you get my point. Now, back to Ralph and the doctor. Ralph tells Dr. Ladd, dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from friends of mine and they'll help you out. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer and the two gents became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's cash. She gets wind of this and she's moving down so they could be married. Dr. Ladd became known as the whistling doctor. He's a pretty happy guy. What I'm going to tell you is that every haunted city you will ever visit in the future has a cliched whistling ghost. Ours just happens to be a doctor. So we're going to talk about those whistles in just a minute, but back to Ralph and Dr. Ladd. They go see plays together. They cannot sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. One night they go see Richard III, and on the way home they're arguing over the new actress. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph did not. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got pretty ugly. They go their separate ways. Told you Ralph has friends. He goes to the newspaper and puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doctor saw the ad but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. That's where you're standing. Dueler's Alley. So, that's what it used to be called, by the way. It's called Philadelphia Alley now, but it used to be called Dueler's Alley. So they came down here, they took their 10 paces away from each other, they turned, and the doctor points his gun in the air. Shot us one bullet. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up to the fight. But Ralph has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd didn't die, but he dropped to the ground. Now, the person walking by, we want to watch our filming. I don't know how far they're going to come up here, just so you guys know. But anyway, so the doctor fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later on November 2nd, 1786. That is just 2 days away from here. Now, I will also point out, he refused medical treatment. Why? First off, it's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than they are now. And he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and trying to bleed it out himself. So, he failed because he died. So, again, he didn't have a pass with the fail like the rest of us did earlier tonight. He just actually died. I will tell you that every tour that comes down here will tell you to listen for the whistles. We're running 3 video cameras and 2 voice recorders. If we're going to find a whistle, it's going to be on one of those 5 devices. So we're going to let they always brace for pups.
Big boy.
Sorry, my wife is being trained to be a vet, so it's always about the animals.
Oh, yes it is.
Always about the animals. So back to whistling this thing. He's gonna pass it. There we go. Jesus. Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Come on,
Augie. He's gonna try to say hi to everybody.
Come on, Augie. Come on.
Augie. Augie, come on. Now, every tour will tell you to listen for those whistles because it is always this quiet down here. Even on a busy Saturday afternoon, it's always this quiet. However, I will tell you that we will capture those other pieces, like I said, on the voice recordings and audio pieces, but your spirit boxes that you're listening to, especially when it's recording, I can't tell you how many times we've had the whistling part of a song and then the word doctor on a commercial right thereafter. Again, not a coincidence since I get it here all the time. What I will tell you is that Liz actually had the word doctor and healthcare that showed up when we were back at Pinckney Mansion site, along with the doctor's birthday. She heard 7-7 directly. The doctor's birthday is July 7th. So we do get double sevens all the time. It's usually from two different people, but all of the doctor terms went to Liz. So again, she didn't know where we were going. She didn't know what was going to be happening. So you can kind of see where I look at this and go, why did that happen? That's where I was a little confused because this is a little too far a bleed over from that kind of location. Now, I will tell you that if you're going to try this on your own and turn on your voice recorders and walk all the way through the alley, I can't take you all the way through. I'll explain here in just a minute because I've actually been kicked out of here. That's the fun part of the story. But keep in mind, if you're going to do it on your own and you hear something in the background, that every local knows this story. So anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street is going to throw a whistle down the alley. I used to do it every single morning when I was done with your data because my office is over here, but my old parking garage is that way. So I had to pass by the alley at like 4 in the morning. So I'd always throw a whistle, you know, as I kind of walked by, just for shits and giggles. Let's talk about how I got kicked out of here. That's the fun part, right? That's the reason why I also like to pause when people are walking through, because again, it was part of from one of the neighbors. So let's talk about that. This alley didn't go all the way through from the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is because before this was Dueler's Alley. It used to be called Cow Alley. This is where they kept some of the livestock for the city of Charleston. If you get the word cow, meat, all kinds of things will show up on your spirit boxes at this point. But anyway, so imagine all these cows and chickens down here, but that means that the bricks on the other side down by Queen Street are older than the ones you're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes and others. And I used to take my groups all the way through just for a history piece. Nothing paranormal, because I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. Like, that's the last place you're going to find that kid, right? Because again, he's not going to stare at the brick that he slaved over. He's going to be at home with his mama somewhere. So, November 26th of 2020, I had my entire group of 10 people, and I took them all the way through. And I'm trying to shoo them along. They're all waiting around that brick, waiting for something to happen with all the gear I just handed out. I know nothing's going to happen. I'm also trying to be respectful to the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley, because we're outside his kitchen window. He was not happy about that. He came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because her dad's getting yelled at, and she thought it was hysterical. So we kind of moved on. We just went on our merry way and finished the tour, and the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving simply because I work for the biggest retailer you can think of for many, many years in upper management, and you guys like to fight on over towels on Thanksgiving. So I don't work on Thanksgiving anymore. So again, I own my own company. I don't have to. So the next day was the 28th. Yes, the dates are relevant. I'm going to get to it. I called my partner that I had at the time. I told him what happened. He laughed at me just like my daughter did. And he said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. You got to reroute the group. So it's Black Friday. I'm sold out again. I take my team of 10 and I tell them, this piece I just already told you about the duel, but I told them we got to reroute, but I don't believe in the next story because I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. Obviously, we're discussing pirates next, if you haven't picked up on that. But before we left, somebody with a spirit box, actually, here's the name Anne. I did not tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. And again, we're going directly across the street behind me. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I was kind of like, okay, shit, maybe we're going to get something. We get over there, I told them a little bit I did know about piracy, which wasn't much. And somebody else here is the number 300 coming out of their spirit box. I write it down because I don't know what it means. I'm going to look it up when I get back to the office. I look it up. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. Now, some of you, I see you nodding your heads going, that's kind of cool stuff. I was pissed. Let me tell you why. I have a master's degree in creative writing, and all of my other degrees are all in writing. So I write fiction and nonfiction. Especially when I'm doing paranormal investigations, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, which were written 100 years after these alleged occurrences of when pirates were running about through the Golden Age, right? So, you know how many books I've had to read on pirates? There's been dozens and dozens of books on pirates, video games, documentaries, movies, you name it. I have watched, read, and played anything with pirates in it to make sure what we're about to discuss is at least coming from 2 different resources, and they're not coming from video games, just so you know. So they're all about the books. So where we're going, it's a 50-50 shot that Anne will be there, because again, ghost hunting is never an exact science. That's the beauty of it. But when we get over there, it is a fun story for sure. We will be able to spread out like what we did at the Pinckney Mansion site, but remember, you're probably going to get bleed over from this location as well. So the gate before we leave, and I asked you guys what you guys may have seen or heard with your devices while I was giving all of this history, the gate behind me, I want you to remember, I told you the alley didn't go all the way through up this way, right? There was a wall there. So if there was a loser to the duel down this way, This was the shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side of the wall. Otherwise, they gotta drag their dead body, the loser, all the way down the Queen Street and then double back to be able to go drop the body off before they can go celebrate with the winner. So I call this the Death Gate. Just keep in mind that the wrought iron was probably put here in the early 1900s, but you can see that the archway for the gate was part of the original wall. So I just like to point that out because not a whole lot of people know why this gate is actually here. Obviously, there's a lot of legalities with it and property lines and that kind of thing, and that's why the wrought iron was put in. So, any words or initials that I need to know about, John?
Not even.
Spirit boxes, anything going on? Katie? No. Liz? Gonna go real quick.
Deliberately grabbed.
Deliberately grabbed. Did anybody get touched while we were here? Okay. Any numbers coming out of the two of you?
I did have one spike.
How high?
It was about 6.9.
6.9. So, again, I expect anything above that 7. So,
Right.
and the fact that, Diana didn't get anything, it's kind of telling, and you're on the same unit of measure. So, Monica, did you hear any strange voices that you know of? Any whistling? This will be really cool when you guys go back to that recording, so when you guys can see if there's any whistles in the background. So she'll probably be the one to best pick it up, to be honest with you. Gina, anything coming out of yours? And of course, Ryan was on mute this entire time. With that said, are you guys ready to learn about some rated R pirates?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I figured as much. I talked quite a bit. So let's get. By the way, this weather dropped dramatically. I didn't know if I should wear long sleeves or not tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So I originally had my Ghost Hunter T-shirt on, and I was like, this will be my costume for the night. And then I was like, nope, gonna need my damn hoodie. All right, let's go learn about these crazy pirates. Pirates, there you go. Right? Is this really getting late for you? You got quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I love him. Can I take him home?
All mine, ladies.
Really? Is that kind of sword?
Totally get it. All right, where's all my peeps? What have we heard along the way? Anything going crazy?
333. That's a lot.
Breach and discovery. And what did you hear?
333. Yeah.
Wow, nothing?
627, just right now.
As in like June 27th. I don't know that that's a relevant thing,
Yeah.
but that's how I'm just showing you guys how I look at these numbers. I love how Monica is laser focused, by the way. It's almost like she's ignoring all of us.
Yes, exactly.
So this space can be, I guess, busy with other tours. That's why I bring us to the back. If they're going to cut through here, if you have a camera, if you don't have it already on record, by all means, hit those record buttons. Oh, that's Jackie.
Oh.
Be careful. She'll rub on all of your legs, just so you know. So, especially if you have dogs. Maybe see she goes to people with dogs.
Yeah.
It's funny. And that used to be Jack until I seen that she was pregnant. So I renamed her. I think she's nursing at this point. But she actually belongs to the Circular Church, which we'll be passing by here shortly. So, again, you see a lot of cats like Jackie. She comes all the time. She lives over here. So, and again, now that all the attention is on Jackie and not me, I love it. It's okay. Happy Halloween, everybody. So that's not why. So, it's perfect. Every tour comes through here, but they talk about the powder magazine. We're going to be doing that too, but we're going to be looking at it in a much different light. So that is the gunpowder magazine, which held gunpowder for 7 different wars. So those are not crosses on the building, just so you guys know. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, they're basically turnbuckles. And if you have another earthquake, like I mentioned in 1886, you can turn the turnbuckles and it'll tighten the building up so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. I only bring them up is because that's part of the reason why we're here, is because those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in, because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We're here simply because Anne would recognize this building because it's from her era. It was being constructed at the same time she came here to start her new life. This is what I call familiar. Seems like everybody here watches the ghost hunting TV shows of some capacity. You guys have seen that Boo Buddy, which is the teddy bear with the K2 meter in it, like that Ian has. They use that so the child would recognize a toy. Take that mentality and put it on this building for Anne Bonnet. We don't have many buildings this old. This is something she would recognize. Hence why it's a 50-50 roll of the dice if she'll even be. So let's get into the history of Anne, and it starts right in the middle of its construction. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. I'll answer for you. It's fine. But anyway, 1708. Try to follow me here. There's a couple of twists. I will slow down on the twist because this is a kick-ass female pirate, and it can get a little loopy in the head if you're not following along. Now, 1708, a young lady moves here. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far? Okay, the three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was the wife that she kicked them out of the damn country by boat? There's no planes, guys. So be nice to your ladies. They'll kick you up to Canada by plane. So anyway, that was kind of a joke. Don't be laugh. Love it. So I know I'm talking fast at this one because there's a lot of history here, and I try to breeze through it so you guys can get back to work. So Dad and Mom and Ann all land in Georgetown, and that's between us and Myrtle Beach, in case you're not familiar. Dad bought a plantation. Mom dies pretty quickly. That means young Ann is now coming, being sent down here, but for Dad to sell things from that plantation to keep things afloat. Hence the familiar building. She comes down here alone. So let's go back to Ireland for just a split second. They say Anne was kind of a badass even back in Ireland. When she was 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, all the stories are different, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Can't tell you how many times I've had servant, knife, and belly show up on 3 different devices and nobody knows what the other 2 people have. So again, happens all the time. Fast forward, the building's done in 13, but by 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love with one of these pirates so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world during these times. So the first guy she falls in love with, I said first, by the way, because there's a handful. That's what makes the story so damn interesting. The first guy is James Bonny. Dad doesn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They run away to Jamaica, they get married, and Cormac became Anne Bonny. That's where the name came from, the pirate name. So when she gets down there, she realizes that James, her new husband, is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was looking for. This guy turns out to be a privateer, which means he's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. This is John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. That's why I named the cat Jack. Now, Calico Jack is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering who this guy actually was. Now, Calico Jack has his own ship, he has his own crew. Anne wants to be part of the crew. Does anybody know why you cannot put a female on a pirate crew? I look at all the wheels spinning, not wanting to say the dirty thoughts that are in your brain. It is bad luck. So, it's funny because you all looked at me like, oh shit, is he really asking that question? It is bad luck. So Jack makes a deal with Anne. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this. Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. Let's all put 2 and 2 together. You know she's a lady in his quarters, right? So you can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl, and that's exactly what happens. So before she starts to show her pregnancy, Jack drops her off in Cuba. And he says, go have the baby in Cuba. These are friends of mine who'll help you out and come back later. Figure it out. She goes and has that baby, but returns with no baby. So keep that in mind. None of my research has ever discovered what happened to the child. You can ask. I just can't prove it if you get a direct answer when you guys are out here working with your communication devices. I know, Jack. You look exhausted, by the way. It's a haunting night. Back to Anne. She comes back without that baby, but also dressed like a female. This makes Jack pretty pissed off. To make him even more angry, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the crew the Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females, dressed like males, on the same ship, trying to be pirates. Her name, Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're never going to know for sure because it's off the edge of the tale. But the British find out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1 bullet flintlocks. They know how to use cannon jets. They haven't been pirates very long. So obviously 2 ladies with 1 bullet guns are not going to do very well against a whole fleet of ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says, I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up a lot for you guys. The judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates. They're dead and gone. So the 2 ladies go in front of the judge. They reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge does not give a shit that they are female. They are still pirates. He is still going to hang them. So they scream out, we plead our bellies, meaning they're claiming to be pregnant. Once again, trying to save themselves. It is illegal to hang a pregnant woman in 1720. He grants the wish, and he sends them both back to jail. Now, Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary. We don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we do not know jack squat about her after her pirate career. There are so many speculations, I'm not going to throw rumors out there at you. I'm telling you what we can actually prove. Mary Reed died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates died from in the Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books tell you it was something simple like fever. Let's make it romantic. Call it scurvy. I don't give a shit. We're talking pirates, right? So, here's the thing. I'm not going to assign questions at this location. I want you guys to have fun with this one. This is not a prominent English woman where I need to keep in control. I'm just going to tell you a few things I left out of the history, so you have something to work with. I did not tell you the name of Anne Bonny's parents. I called them the father and the mistress. Ask what their names are. The name of Calico Jack's ship that Anne joined. I didn't tell you the name of that either. The city where Anne grew up in Ireland. I didn't tell you what that was. And the color of her hair, which I'm sure you can all speculate the cliche of a red-haired, green-eyed Irish woman. You'd be correct. Her hair was red. So I normally give that a question to somebody that's struggling with a spirit box so that way they can grab onto the word red because it's only one syllable. So have some fun with this location. Again, 50-50 roll of the dice if she'll be here. I'll see what's going on. So let's spread out, get those spirit boxes up and running, Ryan. So let's have some fun with this.
Not making blood jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You're going to see even more of them. I'll tell you about this case.
Is it really?
Okay.
Are there any pirates here? Daddy Bell. Are there any pirates here with us?
Does that mean no?
No.
Oh, it actually says no.
All right. Are there any ladies here with us?
All right.
Are there any ladies here with us?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, you should ask, are there any former pirates here?
I'm thinking she's not thinking she's a...
There you go.
You got it. All right. So is Anne here? Hello, Anne. Are you here? No. Who's speaking with us? I'm going to turn this on. Spell your name out. And
Anne Bon or Anne Bonny or what's her maiden name? That's some Irish name. It's like McCormick or something.
well,
Let's walk around. Let's try something else. Let's get closer to her ability, Dad.
You want to listen to this here?
no, I'm recording.
Can you see anything on your end?
Not really.
That's pretty cool.
all right. Let me do it this way. Are there any spirits here? Are there any spirits here?
Come here. Tell me if you can hear any. Tell me if you can hear any words.
How many spirits are here?
Wait, can you go back?
No.
How many spirits are here? Spell your name. Say your name. Give me your initials. If it's too taxing, give us your initials.
It's so hard. It's like half words.
Exactly. That's why, like, every once in a while, you'll get a clear word or phrase or number. Isn't that kind of creepy? It's like, feels very ghost-like, like out of a ghost movie.
Yeah.
So nothing, yeah, because I've only had 5 things so far this whole time.
Yeah, I gotta walk around this.
And then you getting some words?
Let me know if you hear any words. Or numbers.
And you're going to burn in hell.
Oh goodness.
I know, isn't it? Here, I'll turn it up. Isn't it creepy a little bit though? Like something out of a ghost movie.
Yeah, I swear I almost said hell after he said hell.
I do think there's like Christian talk radio where it's one of the phrases was end of the earth.
Okay, let's get some spelling here. Give me some initials.
I can't handle that. That's like getting me.
I know, isn't it horrible? You want to hear?
Yeah.
Here, put these on.
Alright, I'm gonna go investigate over here.
Yeah.
Think of some questions you want to ask the ghost or the spirits, because I don't know how to word those.
Okay.
Like, what's your...
But it has to be reduced to a yes or a no.
Or it could just be a couple of letters. He's asking the ghost to spell its name, and I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's going.
Exactly. It's
888.
okay.
Initial.
I know, isn't that weird? It's like, it's creepy to listen to it. Reminds me of something out of
888
an initial.
88. What now?
You said 888 initial.
Oh, he did?
You
said
did.
that.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you hear those words?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah,
I did
yeah,
hear
yeah.
it.
Wonder what that means.
I don't know. We'll ask Nick. Okay, give me a word here. Ann, Bonnie, are you a pirate? Did you know Edward Teach? Was he before or after your time? You don't know who that was, right?
Are you allowed to stack questions like that?
Can you give me an initial? Are there any spirits here? Is there anybody here? Are there aliens? Yes.
Ah.
Are aliens real?
John, you're gonna throw me off without
That's
that
pretty
hat on.
consistent.
How are we doing with this stuff over here?
Good.
What we got?
I let these guys listen a couple times,
Yep.
and he heard 888 and initial.
That's actually relevant, believe it or not. You heard it in a different
He
context.
heard it. He heard it right away. And then I heard consultation, and that's it. So far.
Since you guys heard that 888, I'm going to follow up with Linda real quick and see what's going on with her device to see if it's going to tie
That's
it up
awesome.
and show how to...
Yeah.
It's not something I even told you about yet, so...
Cool.
Look at you, picked up on something. That's great.
Nice work. You are the chosen one.
Obviously, because nothing came to me.
Let's see. Dario. Go to Dario. Get cheeseburger. Dario. Go. Let's try and spell a word. Dairy. He was saying those numbers that we already.
I just heard the phrase, you can't tell me how much this is going to cost.
You got that many words?
Yep.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of words.
For like different things,
It's going to different radio stations.
but it line those up.
Your dad got 888, and what's his name? Nick said it's relevant.
Well, and the word initial.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been able to get anything except for the clergy parking spaces over there.
Ooh.
What did you get?
Nothing. Well, it just got, the light just comes up. I have the worst.
No, that thing, every one of the shows I watch, they're like this.
I got career. That's kind of fun.
I got this digital camera and I like to drink this.
Do you want to switch?
No.
Okay.
I have no responsibility.
I love taking pictures.
This is all I have to do.
You and I can
You should
switch.
take pictures of.
That's your
Hey,
burden.
take pictures of people. Take pictures of the people here because they'll like seeing the pictures of themselves.
That's true.
Like, make sure to take pictures of all the groups. You guys want to say, go up to me and be like, smile. Show me your sign.
Got it.
You know what? If you don't have fun, it's not worth doing.
Okay.
Right, Boo? The Boo people.
You getting anything on you?
The bear.
I'm here because I got drugs here.
I believe you. You can't
Which
possibly.
alligator one is that?
Well, we're from Where are you from?
Santee, middle of the
Oh,
state.
okay. Yeah. So we've got
We're about
Alligator
to-
River, which is close to our Outer Banks, Mags here.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so it's just sort of some marshy area before you get to the Outer Banks, actual islands out there.
We had a, remind you, this is probably a bad story, but we had a 14-foot, 850-pound gator harvested this year on our lake. Yeah.
On your lake, where you're at.
Yeah. I mean, it's moultrie. It's a big lake. But yeah, that's a big gator. I feel kind of bad. I'm like, that thing's got to be 80 years old, right? Maybe 100. Yeah. I'm like, I don't mind cutting. I don't. I'm like, it's an old gator.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They should put something on it.
I guess. There's another one there.
But
There's another
again,
one out
I
there.
don't think he's going to show you mercy if you're.
You know what gators don't want to be bothered with?
Yeah, we
Don't want your dog in trouble.
Yeah, that's what somebody told me on his tours today. Is they generally won't mess with you unless you have animals.
They know their place. It's not like a snake. You know, you step near a snake, it's gonna bite you. Gator's like, go away.
That's amazing. I just we got a little bit of land, and I allowed some people to hunt. I'm not a hunter.
I was. I'm no longer. I don't have the heart for it anymore.
Yeah, I just I don't enjoy venison. So I mean, now,
Actually,
red or something.
I used to. I went big game hunting, got a couple deer, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like cleaning them, and I really don't like venison. Yeah, bunny rabbits taste good.
Yeah, I can do red. But,
Yeah, squirrels aren't worth eating.
Right.
Pheasants are good.
oh my
Doves
God,
are great, but you got to shoot a dozen of them to make a meal. They're not worth the effort. It's like
Right.
bluegill. Bluegill aren't worth the effort. Tastes good.
I've never had.
Oh, good fish eat. Good eat. But you got to do. I mean, it takes 10 of them to make a sandwich.
But this guy, he calls me this morning. He says, hey John, by the
You
way.
guys are taking off hoods and hats and throwing me all off. Let's get over to the wall. Let's kind of see what we got going on.
Oh, okay. He was telling me that he caught a couple of bear on the game cameras he had out there. He says, did you know you've got bear out there? I said, no, I didn't. He didn't know.
Get anything? Over there in the clergy parking spots. Okay, they're gonna get this and start talking about politics. I can feel it.
And I'm gonna have to learn like how to.
Still recording.
Is it too much?
Possibly, and then the wind too.
The wind, they actually make covers for the wind. So there's like the little Don King hats you can put on there and kind of takes away that wind stuff.
That
So
would help. Hey, I went off.
you broke it.
About quit.
She quit dinner. All right, so let's kind of cover the answers for this location. We did give them 11. I am going to kind of have to give you another piece of history because we did get, who had, 800 and 88?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just, I know that sounds like, oh, you just heard a 1-800 number from a commercial, but they did get the number 88 and it stopped right there, right? Because that's all you told me. There is a piece of history, by the way, cameras, you can stop them and give them a break. So kind of, give your hands a break too so that we don't have to hold them in a specific way.
Get some footage of the group.
There's something I like about his studies, which is history and relationship and the weird things about people. Like I do think that's cool, that understanding people are unique and weird, have stories, things my kids do. Oh, there's that cemetery. That's fun. There you go, get in there. Find that Civil War ghost. No Civil War ghost. Stained glass is beautiful. It's like a Celtic knot. Do you see the circle and the squares?
I do.
Or the triangle? It's really neat. I smell cotton candy.
I do too. It's
Okay.
wonderful.
Yeah. Better than that urine smell we were smelling before. I was like,
Yeah.
what was that?
Ian was just like, hey, that ice cream place is open till midnight, right?
Yeah, we should totally do it. Did he end up getting food?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, because I forgot I went and did some homework. Love this. Oh, I gotta take a picture of it. like we lost our group.
Oh yeah, we lost the group.
Better keep walking.
We're in a lot of groups over there.
Where?
When we were over at the graveyard place.
Yeah, that's. There's dungeon down here.
I feel kind of like young and hip when I'm out and about at 11 at night.
You're about to see some AI images.
Yeah, I hope
future.
I don't like. I hope I can be entertaining and intuitive enough.
Do better than I will.
I don't know. Oh wow, this is a really cool town.
Cobblestone Road, that's
You
cool.
know, isn't that sick? That's a museum. Fireproof building. Ooh, creepy. Oh yeah, it's like Washington D.C.
No, it's because it's run. That's why you have no.
Wow, dude, fix it. Snorkel.
On the way here. It said it was only on level 1. And it
Well, looks pretty old.
This is cool and nice.
That should be.
Yeah. When is this album?
Back to you. Well, tell you where you at.
Right here.
Oh, perfect. Have a seat. So I am actually going to take your spirit box, which we're not going to get.
Okay.
You're going to be using this instead.
Okay,
So that's you're going to hang on to that guy. So I'm going to hand you guys the gear that we're going to be using. The only thing I'm going to ask is you don't put it on until we come back. So the rest of us are going to go over to that bust, and I'm going to give them the history, and then we're going to come back. So that way they can know what's going on with you guys. You guys just won't know. So that's the whole point. So I'm going to be leaving a set of noise canceling headphones next to you. So somebody you came with will be putting that on you.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be giving you a disposable blindfold. It's kind of like a little origami project you can work on while we're gone. So I know, right? If you can't figure it out, it's no big deal. I bring a whole stack of them. And again, I'll be really impressed if you actually figure it out. So I will be giving you guys a few tips and tricks when we come back, so you know what to expect. Just because again, I'm going to be keeping you guys under for a certain amount of time. It's the only part of our night that I actually time. So yeah, again, you guys can just sit here and be besties for a few minutes. All right, let's go learn some quick history, guys. This is going to take like 3 to 5 minutes. Perfect. So how many pictures do I have to sift through?
I slowed down after the Anne Bonny thing, but I've been flying through here.
Okay.
I didn't get any on the watch.
So, by the way, Nancy, the reason I even have that camera is because somebody brought one of the ones, the big ones you see on TV, and we had an 8-minute interaction inside these classes. Yeah. And I say interaction, like, hey dude, is it okay if I read some of your work? Raise your right hand. And he raised his right hand. So that's why I have that camera now. Alright, so, first time I came in here, I've only come here for a year. So this was the new space that I researched when I gave the Pinky Mansion Solar break. And I only had 2 people, because it was cold, and everybody, like, canceled. Like, you guys are all bitching that it's cold out here. I'm like, it's chilly, but it's not too cold. But anyway, so the young lady listening to this gearbox, here's the year 1828 and the name Henry. I'm using the digital word list that Linda has, because I always like to have a backup, and I have the name Tim on it. Behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod, born in 1828. So it's like a hot damn, there's my nose, right? Here's a quick story on him and what you guys need to know before we get over there. Being born in 1828, so you need to know that first off, he was a writer and he was sick for most of his life. So that's a big deal. Being born in that time, he was old enough to fight in the Civil War. He goes out to the battlefield to go fight for the Confederates, and his comrades realize he's too sick to fight. So they sent him home. They said, go be the voice of the war. They wanted him to write about what was going on in the battlefield. He came home to Charleston and started writing poetry about what's going on out there. He became known as the Laureate of the Confederacy. So it's a pretty big title for him. A couple years go by, he has a son. His son is born on Christmas Eve, but dies 9 months later on October 23rd. So obviously that was just about a week ago, about 8 days. So again, October's been very odd to try to make contact with this gentleman because he also died in October. So obviously very tragic for him and his wife Katie. So a couple more years go by, his other friend from college realized he's not writing anymore. He's another writer. His name is Paul Hamilton Hayes. He says, go use my cottage in the middle of the state and get back on track. Leave your wife behind with her parents, come on, and get back to work. So he goes out there and wrote his last words. The last words were over of brief mortality, which means dear person with a short life. And then he coughed, and it landed on the page in the class. So that's so he had tuberculosis, which is exactly how he passed away. He died right there on the page. Now, you're all thinking, okay, big whoop, he died of tuberculosis and there's a blood stain on his work. That blood stain looks like a man writing. They show this one day a year on Halloween. They showed it today. However, you got to be a member of the Charleston Library Society to be able to go see it because that's where his collection is being held. The internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you this blood book. And we're going to go talk to Liz, the chief Henry Timrod, and Katie's hopefully going to be giving us images that are going to be complementing that conversation. As we are over there, we are going to stay pretty close to them. Just so you know. There's a lot of them all going towards the sea that I'm blind for them, like this, in the middle of the dark part. Especially, that's why I told the ladies, don't put your stuff on. So your blood stain is right here. You can see now how it looks like a man writing on his desk. So I'll zoom in a little bit. Yes, exactly. This is a very big deal for this city. Like everybody knows who Henry Timrod is, because that's kind of a big deal for us. Now, with that, we have gotten EMF in this location. So Diana, Carlos, you guys want to be really paying attention. We have gotten triple digits in this location. So 167 during this whole session. Other spirit boxes, word list, Ouija board people, all pay attention to your devices. The reason why is because if we're not getting an answer out of Liz, it's going to come up on one of your devices. I'm hoping, honestly, it's going to come up more so for Monica, so that way I can hear it back as an actual voice. Like that's going to be the point of why we're here doing this with her. Filming, as far as that goes, Eric, you're going to stay focused just on them because you're going to have probably the best footage. The other 2 cameras, feel free to film whatever you want to. That's kind of how this goes. Just keep in mind the other tours walking around. Just be, kind of cognizant of that. But yeah, we are going to stay in a pretty tight circle. When I start packing up all of the gear, because this will be our last session together, I am going to send Carlos and Diana around and kind of hit the hot spots around here to kind of see if you get any other readings that we may have missed since we came in. So before we leave the space, Linda, what are the last 2 words that you have, just so I kind of know what track we're on?
Chief and final.
Final chief. Yeah, it makes a whole lot of nothing for me. All right, let's go talk to the ghost. You guys ready?
Yeah, we'll go.
I do that on purpose.
Really little head.
Right? I figured that there were going to be both men and women doing this, and I didn't want to mess up the lady's hair, so I had these open up to where they're a Batman mask. So instead of going all the way around her head, yes, I'm very considerate. I have 2 daughters and an ex-wife and a new wife, so yes, I've lived with females my entire life. So here's how this is going to go down. I'm going to put my phone in, and you're going to start to see images. They're going to be 2D, nothing 3D in your face. You're just going to be very brief in your description because she's not going to hear us, so you're going to be talking over her basically.
Okay.
So if you say 2 ladies bench tree, keep it that simple. 2 ladies bench tree. If she's not talking much, I'm actually going to give like probing questions like, give me the time era. What is this person wearing? You know, something specific.
Okay.
So kind of keep that in mind. With your end, you're going to tell me literally everything you hear. So you're going to have a couple of, pick a family member that's going to help you, that's going to do the hand cues.
Sure.
Okay, so there, with this, you're going to be part of this as well. When we're done, because you're not going to be able to hear us, I'm going to keep you guys under for 10 minutes, because this can be very disorienting. So he's going to tap you on the leg when we're done. That means we're done, you take off your own gear. Okay? If anything goes wrong, because again, I've had people hyperventilate with this whole situation, he's going to help you take all your gear off. Okay, is that fair?
Yeah.
If you're speaking, not all the gear off. In the event that you're speaking too loud, because we do have neighbors, remember you're going to have noise-canceling headphones on. He's going to tap you on the shoulder. So I have to do that pretty hard since she has a jacket on. If we can't hear you, he may lift up that earmuff and just say the word louder. Keep it nice and simple. Even tell me the yes/no answers that you're hearing. You don't know what questions I'm asking. So again, that's the whole point of this. Tell me everything you hear.
Okay.
So I'll time things like once you get things up and started. And Barry, you're going to have to help her put those noise-canceling headphones on because she's going to be blindfolded and she won't be able to see. So the minute you start, so yes, it's blindfold, earbuds, then noise-canceling headphones. Have you ever used virtual reality before? Perfect. So I'll set it up for you. You're going to see gray smoke to begin with. Let me get rid of last night's images so it doesn't mess anything up.
Ready?
This is a lot of fun. This can either work out like to where it's super silly, where she's basically going to be telling us a bunch of things that are just hysterical, or we're already getting an image. Wow. And holy cow, that's the image that's popping up, everybody. I mean, we have Christ on the cross. I mean, that's pretty serious as the church bells are going off. So again, I can't make this stuff up. It is what it is. So you're gonna see gray smoke, so you don't fall asleep. It's gonna be like rolling Cuban cigar smoke. So once this gets started, I'll slide it in there. You do have a focus right here, so if you can't see and it's a little blurry, just turn the focus.
Okay. Cool.
It just takes a second. Liz hasn't said a word yet. Vera might actually have you remind her to talk to us. Just lift up her earmuff and have her tell us everything she's hearing.
Tell us everything.
Smile, Boo.
Wow.
Nice.
Tell us everything you say.
Ian, you're so animated. All of my pictures of you are like,
I need to take a
RV.
picture.
Oh, no, you're good. So it'll line up with you, but once you get the smoke, just hit your focus button and start telling us the other images that you're getting. I don't know what electric RV means, but we're going to move on. So Henry Timrod is 11:15. We're going to go for 10 minutes like we normally do. Happy Halloween, good sir. And if you are here with us, I want you to start off with telling us about your occupation.
Too late.
No, it's not. What's too late?
I'm seeing a windowed building with pillars.
Okay.
Looks old.
Henry Timrod, if you're here, give us something about your occupation. Let's keep it nice and light tonight. I know this is the end of October, kind of a month of mourning for you and your family. I'm trying not to cry too hard here. If you can come through and tell us what you did for an occupation, or give us some kind of tool, or show us something that you had to use, that would be great. She's like laser focused too, by the way. Like she hasn't moved an inch.
GIA.
I don't know who that is. It's Gina. Trying to spell out.
It's hard to tell what this is.
It's mapping.
You do?
Mapping how?
CIA is like the organization that does land mapping.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like underground or somewhere.
Okay.
And there's the black image to my lower right, like a shadow or something, and then something in the distance.
Nobody calls you that.
Okay.
Like a bird or a person or something. Look, maybe walking.
Wow. Is it a bird person? That can happen. That thing gives us really odd images. Okay, we're gonna take
Now
that.
it's foggy, so that like,
Back to font, so it disappeared.
yeah, it disappeared.
Okay.
New image coming.
No.
Right start.
Did she just say right start? Yes. As in, he was a writer? You guys getting my point? I know it's out of context with the way she said it, but we still have the word right.
Internal.
Okay, Henry, we're going to get back to, give us one of the tools that you had to use. What did you do? What did you use for tools as a writer?
I'm seeing a sunny landscape with beautiful architecture, something that reminds me of Rome, in that there's like nice archways and a steeple of sorts.
Henry, none of these really make sense to me until I see them. Can you tell us what Katie's seeing in there? Henry, did I hit a nerve by telling you Katie's name? That's his wife, by the way, in case you guys pick up on that.
Trainer.
Train. Henry, we're going to need a little bit things more to be more specific. So I asked you.
November.
I'm seeing that smoky like transition change
Yeah.
picture, so nothing yet.
Okay. What about November?
Article.
Henry, let's talk about your wife. Can you tell us how you met her?
None.
She was not a nun. Can you tell us how you met your wife? He was her school teacher, just in case anybody's wondering. She was only 16 years old when they met. Henry, can you tell us how you met Katie? That'll give us some verification that you're here with us.
Still no images here.
Nothing. Yeah, sometimes we get like one image, sometimes we get 10. We
Okay.
never know. So, patience is the key. Henry, did you bring somebody else here with you? That's a yes/no question, please.
Message brought.
Did you bring some?
Veterans.
Did you bring somebody else here? I know that you said the word brought, but if you did bring somebody else here with you, who else is it? Give us their first name. How's our word list coming? Where's Linda? We have any names showing up on there? John, nothing on the little Ouija board over there?
105.
We need a name, Henry. Who else did you bring with you? Even if you didn't bring them, who else is here with you? Seems like you don't want to really chat with us too heavy tonight. We'll try to communicate with someone else.
Same tool.
200.
105 and 200.
Delivery.
Henry, I'd like to know if there's anybody else here besides the 13 folks that I brought with me. I know this is a larger crowd than what I normally bring, but there are no other tours in here. I know you don't like it too loud, and we just had that very loud vehicle drive by. But just let us know if somebody else is here that may want to give a few clues about them. If you're still a little unwilling to talk because it's still October. It's been about 6 minutes, just so everybody kind of has that idea. So we got about 4 minutes to go. Hold your phone. Henry Timrod. Let's dive right into your son, since you don't really want to answer the other questions. Can you tell us what holiday your son was born on?
Hundreds.
Ooh, I'm seeing a woman
107.
with her hands under her chin,
Okay.
looking up. Black straight hair, brownish straight hair with a part down the middle.
Time era, if you had to guess.
A modern looking woman.
Okay.
Like tank top, you can see her one shoulder, and her body doesn't quite look like,
Night out.
can't tell if it's her knees folded up to her chest. She's in a chair, and now she's gone.
Just saw that picture is relevant to you, considering the time era. But I asked you about your son's birthday. Can you tell us what holiday that falls on? I'll take just the number if that's all you can find.
God's.
What holiday? God's holiday. Henry,
Temperature.
you wrote poetry about your son, which is the only reason why I'm kind of poking the bear on this one. You could give us his name, tell us anything you want us to know about him specifically.
1.
You can tell us how old he was, his birthday, the anniversary of his death just recently. And Henry, we are running out of time really fast.
3 does it.
I know that's whatever she just said there. I'm interested. This is like uber quiet, just so you guys know. Like, there's nothing going on here. I'm not picking anything up. Monica, do you have anything? No.
I'm seeing somebody wearing black, another smaller figure. The person that's wearing black, their legs and their hand is redder, but the face is whitish yellow. And there's like lights coming
Is it?
in these windows.
Is it a
It's
man
a
or woman?
little bit creepy. You cannot tell. It's like no face really.
Okay. You can't tell by the posture.
Maybe more likely a woman.
Okay. Henry, we are going to wrap this up and leave you alone. I understand like this has been a rough month for you, and I've been really poking the bear, and I brought a much larger crowd than what I normally do. So we're going to say goodnight. Can you say goodnight back to us? Henry, can you say goodnight back to us? I'll take it on any of the boxes these folks are holding. And with that, go ahead and tap her out. Go ahead and peel that thing off your face, Katie. Take it off. Take it off.
That's so interesting.
It is.
That's fun.
It is fun. This one was really
We're
kind of a
fast.
dud. How long do you think you were under?
I don't know. Maybe 2-3 minutes.
Most people think that. It's almost the exact answer I get every time. You were under for exactly 10 minutes. So, our conversation was completely irrelevant. Like, nothing happened. You didn't give us silly answers, which sometimes if nothing happens and our ghost wasn't here, then we would at least get
Porn
some
and
silly
orgy kept coming through, and I was like, did that really just happen? Because then I was thinking so long, I was like, well, it's probably not relevant anymore if they're talking about it. I don't know.
So let's kind of take a look through the images. Don't get up, by the way, because
I had a modern woman that came, but
Yeah.
she wasn't inappropriately dressed or
Yeah,
anything.
The
That's
images
so
don't
funny.
really blow up. They will when
I
you
got
go
my
back.
first
I don't
clue.
know if you guys want to huddle around because I want to kind of scroll through them. Katie's already seen them, obviously. So this was our first one.
Through, and it was like a lot longer.
So we'll go this way.
Oh yeah, I want to see if I actually describe these correctly.
So this is almost like,
That was the first image, yeah.
well, that would have been the first image.
Oh, yeah,
as
that's
the
right.
church bells were going off. This one actually just looks like an older street. So I don't know if it could be something relevant here. I get similar pieces like this. Again, I can't really find anything relevant. This almost looks like.
This one was like maybe underground.
It is
and then
underground
the
cave.
Two shadows. That's what it was like. It was a bird or a person. I couldn't tell, and it kind of looked like it was moving.
Yeah, it is an interesting piece.
All of them are a little. That one was like the lightest, happiest one. It's like Roman art.
A lot of odd architecture. Like, I don't know what that's relevant to. Again, I'm just going to be honest with this. I'm sure you guys appreciate that. I'm like, oh, this was because he was in. Well, I'm like, no, I have no idea. Wow.
That was the woman with the, like her legs look really odd to me.
Yeah, and this can convolute. You know, they're all contortionists in these pictures, because again, it's never perfectly exact. But yeah, that is an interesting piece for sure. I don't know that it's relevant. There is another. One of the things that I'm looking at is, you know, relevant close to where we're at, but not super. This one's kind of cool.
Yeah, you had asked if it was male or female. I'm like, oh, creepy too.
Yeah,
It was
weird.
clear in my. It was clear to me. You can see it.
It'll be way more clear on your computer.
Right.
So that one's definitely interesting. Is that the last one? Yeah, looks like it. So yeah, do we have any relevant pictures that I can pinpoint and kind of see what's going on? I don't. It is creepy. But it is creepy to actually go through it. So this was completely unsuccessful. And again, I hope you guys actually appreciate that kind of honesty, because I'm not going to make something out of nothing. Because again, if I can't prove it, or kind of like, hey, this was because like you had a gun, Dr. Ladd will show up because he used to live nearby. You know, I look for those things. I was asking you if our normal ghost, brought somebody with him. Sometimes Dr. Ladd will slip through. Nothing came through on our word list that Linda was shouting out at me. Gina, did you hear anything at all? Nothing at all. Okay, so this has just been a very light night. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think the most exciting thing that we actually had was that 44 milligauss reading at the Pinckney Mansion site, and we did get an 11 when we were at the Powder Magazine, which is a huge anomaly for that space. We don't normally see that things go that high. However, this ghost, as you guys already know, at this location, does not like the month of October. He died in October, and his 9-month-old son died in October. This has been a very quiet month, as I've noticed. Because again, this will be the first October that I've actually been here, because I started investigating this space last November. So this is my first round, and kind of learning, like, this is why it's been so quiet. Prior investigations, we've gotten full-blown conversations with imagery to kind of complement it. So during a 10-minute session. Do you feel okay, by the way? Yeah. You were very calm, by the way. You were freaking me out a little bit. I'm like, did she fall asleep? Is she okay? So kind of, I think sometimes people will fidget because, again, that thing is kind of annoying. So as I kind of pack this up, I am going to send you guys like on a quick little roundabout. You guys look freezing to death too, so let's get your blood warmed up. So kind of see if you find me any other numbers, even going to the grassy areas, because that's where we've gotten most of those triple digits in the past. So take a quick lap as I start to collect everybody else's devices, and you guys can ask me a million questions if you want. Looks like a lot of you guys, I wore you out. You're pretty exhausted and tired. So I will send you guys back to wherever you need to go. But let's get my gear back in the bag first. Does that sound fair? Wow, John's like, holy cow. Like,
I did get